Jeff Grubb.
Jan Ochoa. What is this?
You know what I always say before I tell you what this is?
I know you say many things. What do you always say, though?
I always say, and I have this on several tapestries in my house. It's painted on my walls.
Love, live, laugh, or whatever. Yeah, that's you.
Dang it, you got my joke already. This is live, alive, or live alive.
I think I heard them direct them say live, alive, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to get it wrong many times during this quick look.
This is out now. If you're, oh no, one of the first bell rung. Grubb,
bell is ringing.
We're messing up on time.
It's a bell heavy game.
It's a bell heavy game. This is the first chapter of the Western saga. This has multiple perspectives of different varying time eras, let's say. And all of them seem to feel like very individual. None of them really connect at the very top. I'm maybe, let's say, like 4 or so hours in. I've played a couple of chapters already of a couple of the different protagonists. If you've played the demo, thankfully that progress does carry over. So if you've completed one of those chapters, right now what we're doing here is we're finding a bunch of equipment to lay down some booby traps, prepare for like a group of bandits coming to town. And we are this lovely cowboy joined by this cowboy that wanted to hunt us down, but now we've formed an uneasy alliance.
Oh, so it's like a Western. All right, then.
Like an actual Western. And I gotta say, Grubb, we're gonna try and keep this short because this game is very, very story heavy. It is fairly linear. It's kind of a turn-based game, kind of a super heavy on the story bits. It's tactics light in moments. And this is just based off of being 4 or 5 hours in. I fucking love this game, Jeff Grubb.
Yeah, I've heard people are super into it. I like the demo from what I played.
Yeah.
Another bell. Okay,
another bell.
Second bell. Okay, so but I was like, okay, this is essentially a remake, an HD 2D remake of a game from that was like that predated Chrono Trigger.
Yes.
And so I was like, it's probably going to be okay in terms of how it plays, even if it's really beautiful. But people seem to be really into it.
Yes. And the thing is, it plays so differently across the different protagonists. Like this one, you're a cowboy, so you have access to pistols and everything. In one of the other chapters, I think which was available in the demo, the far future one where you play as a little robot, there's almost no combat, which is wild. But some of the other protagonists, like there's the present day one who is just a martial arts fighter. You purposely kind of want to take on hits from the enemies because as you are getting hit, you're able to learn their abilities, which is wild.
Oh, cool.
And then here,
that's the sense I get. There's a lot going on in this game, even if there's not always a ton of combat.
Yes. Lots of story popping off. A good chunk of it is voice acted. But some of the NPCs, a lot of it is just reading text. And I think I've said this a couple times across various Giant Bomb properties, but I don't like generally this like 2.5D art style that has been prevalent with JRPGs. I'll admit that it has its moments where it looks super pretty. Octopath Traveler and Triangle Strategy, moments where it looks very pretty, but otherwise I hate it.
Okay, well, is it okay? Now you come into this and expecting to hate it. What's up?
I love it. It works. I don't know why it suddenly works here. Maybe there's more.
It's gotten better.
It's probably gotten better, and then there's more. Oh no, we're wasting so much time. The bandits, Grubb.
Oh no.
A bottle of coal tar. What is coal tar?
There's like this. It looks a little bit less messy. I don't know. But it's like they're using the 2D and the 3D, right? Like the 3D environments, the 2D sprites of the characters, 2D objects to interact with. Occasionally, it looks like maybe like the trees might be a little 3D or something like that. But it's all pretty clean, and it just kind of looks like it's popping off the screen in a way that even the other HD 2D games never quite did. This is definitely an improvement overall.
Oh, 100%. I don't think I've mentioned what we're doing here. Oh, I have. So we have about like 8 bells to prepare for these bandits heading to town.
Okay.
We're rooting around the town now, looking for supplies, and we'll get to the inhabitants of the town in a bit so we can prepare for battle here. But everything is just so different. I wish I had heard of this game way back when.
Yeah.
Because it just seems so odd in its choices. And from what I gather, it's pretty much almost the same game as the original, other than obviously, you know, the graphical updates and the voice acting and everything. But it's pretty much the same flow of stuff of switching in between the protagonists and whatnot. Miracle Tonic.
So when you're saying this is the first chapter of the Western, that's how you open this up.
Yes.
Do you go back to this later? Or like are you gonna do this and then it's gonna like pause, and then you go to, you know, feudal Japan or whatever, and then you can come back to this, or do you go through the entire Western story and then move on to another character?
Let's go show that off, Jeff Grubb.
Okay, please.
So what you can do at any point in the game, you can go back to your chapter select. So say you're getting a little bit bored of where you're at currently in your specific story, you can return to the chapter select. We should save. Let's just use... This is one of my habits, Grubb, and this is probably why I always overwrite my data. I will always have a bunch of series of saves to prepare for a quick look, but my main save I'll always throw at the very bottom. So this is about
a dangerous life.
I lead a very dangerous life. So let's go back to character select real quick to show off the stuff. Which chapters did you pick from the demo?
I did Japan, and then I did I started China, where like you get attacked by tigers and stuff.
Right.
And I started playing a little bit of that, and that was I got like attacked by a lady. So she ambushed me, and then I'm like I hadn't picked it up from there, but I'm like I'm probably just gonna play this game, so I'll just do that when I buy it.
Yeah. So in this save, I've already completed the first chapter of the present day. So if we were to pop into there, we would just continue the game in the subsequent chapters. Like you see here how like it kind of has like the 3D elements of like the turnbuckle and like the workout stuff. I really am digging the mixed media they got going on here.
Yeah, and they're doing a good job with it.
It's really good. In the demo, if you want to see some really impressive stuff, the Distant Future chapter also does a really good job at mixing the 2D sprites, like the 2.5D, the tilt shift stuff. It's just, they're going so hard on it, and it's so good.
And the character sprites are not even like the clean pixel look that you would get if you would take like an old game and just put them on an LCD or whatever.
Yeah.
They are like smudging it up and like a CRT filter, and that really also works really well. And they've done stuff like that before, but it's working better here than it ever has before.
Yeah. So like I mentioned, if you leave a chapter or a character in progress and you want to dip out, you can start any of these, and it does a really good job at like checkpointing, saving exactly where you are, so you can pick right back up where you are.
Interesting.
And you know, say you do want to just start something from the very beginning, you also have that option too. Let's continue down the Wild West stuff. From where I'm at in the game, and I've done just like a lot of just plotting, because this is how I approach these games. I just like reading every single thing in excruciating detail. I've wound up raking up the playtime. But if you are just mainlining this, you can make a lot of headway in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, it seems like some of the someone mentioned to me that the future chapter, maybe it was the modern day chapter, was really, really short overall.
Yes.
Okay, but it's like that's kind of neat. Like, so like it'd be almost monotonous if everything was like, oh, okay, well I'm gonna go into this one, and this one's gonna be in 2 hours, and we'll do this one. This one's 2 hours. It's cool that there's like some mix to the mixtape that they have going on here.
Oh, totally. So here we are now using the citizens to set traps. So we went around town, started looking for supplies. And what I've learned is that depending on the trap that you give to these people, they'll set it up faster.
Oh.
So, all right, little boy, go use your slingshot. You gave us a slingshot.
Need you to set a trap.
I love that cowboy. I need you to set a trap. It's
Need
like
you to set a trap.
it's almost like a Sam Elliott.
Don't see how we could
Yeah.
And
I'm
it's
a sarsaparilla.
and it's pretty good about telling you it's like, hey, you can't use that to set a trap. Let's see. Let's give him a bottle of fire.
Not with that attitude. I could set a jerky trap. Watch me do it.
Let's give him some jerky.
What kind of trap you think?
Okay. Hey. You got it covered? All right. Good.
All right.
Thanks, bud. We have another bottle of fire
Need you to set a trap.
or a
What kind of
Molotov.
trap you think?
Set a trap.
Set a trap. I just love all this, like these little mariachi
that's
guys.
good.
Uh-oh, another
The
bell.
poncho and everything.
Yeah. Maybe not.
Okay, so it picked up from the bell. Like we were in between the third and fourth bell. There was the fourth bell. All right,
Yeah.
cool.
It does a pretty good job at like when you want to resume
What kind of
stuff.
trap you think?
Right.
Let's see. Oh, set
Can I
up.
ask, is there any part of you that wishes any one of these chapters was just the whole game, or are you happy that it goes and bounces around?
You know, I feel like
kind
where
of
the
trap you think?
systems are, at least in like the very beginnings of each chapter, it doesn't feel fleshed out enough to
Right.
stretch out into a whole game. So I feel like they're doing a pretty good job at being able to just like, hey, we're going to introduce these mechanics. They're not going to be super fleshed out, but they're going to be enough for you to get through this chapter, and then you're going to feel compelled to continue on with a different chapter.
Need you to set a trap.
Like
Right.
when I initially fired up the demo, I wasn't really super jazzed with the Distant Future one because there was very little combat going on, and I was very confused. So being able to switch to a different chapter really helped out in my enjoyment.
Have you
of the
seen
game.
Cloud Atlas, or read the book maybe?
Familiar with the name?
Okay, well, there's a distant future. It bounces around time as well, and like all the characters are played by the same actors because they all like are part of the same like spiritual lineage or whatever. But there's a far future one where Tom Hanks speaks like a future language, and whenever you say the far future, I'm just imagining Tom Hanks going, "That the true," and I'm like,
true,
"All right,
true.
yeah, that's the true."
Good old
I'm like,
true,
all right,
true.
Tom Hanks, yeah, good, true.
So we're kind of stuck now in this planning phase where everyone is setting their traps. I could skip time and have time progress. Oh,
That guy's just burying a lot of horse shit right there.
yeah, that guy's just like, he's using his hands too. What a
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, they didn't know any better.
Okay, you know what? Let me try skipping some time and maybe they will have progressed. We are asking a lot of people to do some stuff.
I'll say that this setup enables you to quickly jump into very different characters, and I was gonna say like Chrono Trigger has you going to different time settings, but you are always the same character, so it's always like, oh man, this is different, and I think you still have to like learn that area. Like here, it's like you could just jump right into a Western cowboy, but do you feel in the mechanics like that you get that distinction from one character to the next that you're playing as?
Totally. 100%. Like,
That's awesome.
For instance, like this cowboy was a vast departure from the MMA fighter chapter that I started with. Even in its presentation, like that is such, it starts in such a flashy way where it's like, it fires up a character select screen of the people you want to fight. Versus here, it starts like an old Western, like Desperado type of thing.
Could use that.
Wasn't always.
You know what? I'm gonna try skipping a little bit of time.
Traps ready.
Oh, did he set up his poop? Oh no, you didn't set up. You're a different person. Okay, the bells are going.
Fifth.
For me,
What happens if for me a
Yeah,
double?
can you get crunk?
I lost my train of thought. Okay. Traps ready.
Is he the poop guy? He might be the poop guy.
Yeah, I hope so.
All right. You know what?
Pour me
Let's.
a double.
People are finishing their traps.
Not just for the time. Okay.
Okay. All right. Everyone's finishing their stuff.
Yeah.
Ask the mariachi guy to finish something too. So in my first playthrough of this, I dramatically messed up, and I spent way too much time looking for things.
You weren't drunk enough? Is that what the problem was? You weren't drunk enough? Not enough doubles?
Not enough doubles.
6 bell.
Yeah.
Pour me a double.
And man, Grubb, I almost feel I've never written a video game review in my life,
Really?
but I'm other than like a fun little blog for myself, but I'm kind of compelled to write something about this.
Tell you
'cause-
what, the thing that makes a review work is when you have good anecdotes as your examples, and it sounds like you might have a couple of those. So I think that's something you should probably do.
to put in perspective for folks at home, and I know that this is a very odd slice of the game, and it's also always very hard to show off in a JRPG specifically.
Right.
But the vibes and feelings that this is giving me is very similar to when I was playing through 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. And for folks that have paid attention to the last couple Giant Bomb Game of the Year discussions, will know that 13 Sentinels struck a very, very strong chord with me.
Yes.
I think that was the poop guy.
Why are all these people wearing clothes then? That's my big question. That's weird.
Well, you know, we haven't showed off any of the other chapters, Grubb.
Okay, fair enough.
They could very well not be wearing anything.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I think we got all the traps set. It's such a weird thing to say, because like in old Final Fantasy games, these set pieces are generally just like the summons, right? Or the boss characters. The way that they're able to pull off set pieces in this 2.5D style game is so impressive and so captivating. Okay.
Yeah. It's visually arresting, and it's also like mechanically interesting at all times, it seems like.
All right, here we go, Grubb. Here we go.
All right, I'm ready. The showdown.
Like, what?
Oh, man.
This has no business doing this.
Yeah, this is impressive. Wow.
And you know, it runs perfectly fine on the Switch. I was a little bit sad that it wasn't available on Steam or other platforms, but
Right.
this isn't putting your Switch through that much strain. So it's been running consistently for me so far.
Ooh.
If you can't wait, there are options to skip everything, or at least auto advanced text.
Thank God. Finally. After 3 days and 3 nights of walking through the desert, civilization! At long last, see what?
How do you like the voice acting?
It's a bit bad. Some of it's a little hammy, but I
Yeah.
feel like it lends itself. Okay.
Oh, of course.
Father?
It lends itself well to the story.
Right.
That's a strong kid to drag his adult father. Okay. So because we've set traps,
Yeah.
we are taking out some of these cowboys ahead of time. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was cool. That was fun.
Oh, there's
So that,
more.
that would presumably be different depending on like what traps you would set and who would set them and all that stuff. Oh my God.
Exactly.
What? And that fire is just real fire. That's
It's just
great.
real
Oh my
fire.
God.
We just blew up those
Yes!
people.
Many horses were harmed in the making of this.
Yes. They got lucky there. So that's an example of how, depending on how you set up, it could greatly affect the combat encounter that's about to unfold.
Right, that's very fun.
Mister?
It's time, Mad Dog.
Oh, so good. So good.
You got that right. I've been waiting to look this devil in the eye.
Ugh.
Coming too.
Like I wish all older JRPGs were able to get this type of facelift and love and treatment.
I mean, there's a lot of games from that era that could really use like this sort of upgrade, but just like a thing to make them relevant again in a lot of ways, like to a new audience, to give them a chance again.
Yeah,
it's like that would be really cool.
Yeah, I'm a little scared that
really
this
not
is
even RPGs. Like there was a lot of games from that time overall that could just use this.
Yeah, even from like the early PS1, Game Boy Advance era as well. I'm a little scared that this is going to get lost in the shuffle with Stray,
right,
being super popular. But it's kind of a light release schedule, so hopefully this will get
the reviews are doing pretty well. I think it'll get some attention.
Yeah. If you want to read a really good review, read Rebecca Valentine's review on IGN. She does a painstaking job of going through everything in this game.
Yeah, it was great.
That
man has a minigun.
He has a minigun. So let's just skip this, and I just want to show a little bit of the combat.
Okay.
And
yes,
then we may call it a day there because I don't want to spoil anything else. So
and it's so cool to see them in their combat forms.
So the thing is, Grubb, if you mess up the planning phase, this whole board is littered with enemy cowboys.
Oh wow.
So how the combat works here, it's when I say tactics light, there is an active component of the combat, but it is all very tile based. So underneath the blue health bar is a charge gauge, and when that is full, we can use an action. What that tooltip at the beginning was saying is that we can, if we take out the head boss, which is the dude with the minigun there, that perv, we can end this whole thing right off the bat, which is definitely easier to do if we don't have all these freaking cowboys around. But let's just show off a little bit of that. Because that person occupies 4 tiles. So let's just show off some of our abilities here. The blue tiles there indicate where these will land.
And if it looks like it's going to hit one of these guys, and like the ones that takes up 4 tiles, it will hit them, right?
It will hit them, yeah. And some enemies have elemental or a different attack type weaknesses. They have resistances, similar to like your standard JRPG fare.
And the game will let you know that, right? It will just straight up say,
it is very good at communicating like who is what. So like this person is vulnerable to these types of attacks. So let's just shoot him real quick. Horseplay. and there are counter attacks, which is super wild. Like I had built up one of my characters, and some of the attacks will pass through others if you were strategic about placement.
Fun.
We're not doing too well over there. And ride the lightning. It's so good.
Texas jitterbug.
So as you are moving, the enemy bars are also filling up. And you can interrupt certain attacks depending on when you get yours fired off. The same thing can happen to you, unfortunately. But for instance, in the present day chapter, there's a lot of evading happening in that. So sure, your enemy will have their meteor charged, but if you move out of their range, then they can't hit you. Let's just shoot off Ride the Lightning because that sounds cool.
Yes. Oh my god, he evaporated.
Horseplay.
I'm resistant to horseplay.
And then from here, you can also pass your turn or wait, and that'll let your friendly units take their turn sooner. Items will, of course, take your turn. Just heal up our main cowboy. We might be able to get away with this. Okay, let's hit him with a. Oh boy.
Dance for me.
Okay. At any point, I believe, is it this one? No, this one. If you are a little bit confused about the different statuses, and there's a lot of statuses, Jeff.
Yeah, look at that. Holy crap.
All of that is communicated to you. There are points in the game where you will like affect certain tiles, so certain tiles will be afflicted with a status. of sorts. I just want to see what this looks like. I just want to show off the Texas Jitterbug.
Yeah, please.
Uh-oh. Okay, you got it.
No.
You can take it. You can take it.
I got it.
Okay,
Oh.
you missed a lot. So that's all right. Uh-oh. Okay, you got a little
Oh,
bit.
he's still running.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
So
Shot in the back.
let's take that as an example of you may not want to attack everyone all the time.
Okay.
Let's see.
So, like, what do you think you could have done there to avoid this situation? Like, would it have been like falling back and healing instead of doing your Texas Jitterbug that time and things like that, or what?
Or okay, well, I'm using our friend as a shield now, and now he's dead.
Oh, okay. Well, someone had to put the Mad Dog down.
If we had positioned the Mad Dog somewhere where he would only target one enemy versus both, or
Right, okay.
we perhaps focus down on the boss character like this. Let's do this. If we wipe, it's for game journalistic purposes, which
That's
may
right.
happen.
We want to see it.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
have to know what happens
Can't hit the
to
boss.
report the truth.
Exactly. So some of these attacks will also stagger, stun enemies, or they will push them strategically. Oh gosh. Okay, he's healing all his boys. Let's just shoot this guy.
Like that? That's your best?
He's got the flag, and does that mean like if you kill him, the other ones will run away?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. Yeah, he's big and beefy.
Big and beefy. Bunch of big beefy boys in the west.
Big beefy boys.
But I don't want to show too much of the game, Jeff Grubb.
Yeah, I mean, I think we got a pretty good idea. I mean, we got a good look at this scenario. We got to look at hopping around and stuff. Yeah, this seems fantastic.
Yeah, if you're at all, if this quick look has made you at all curious about Live Alive, there is a demo out, and if you wind up liking the demo, your progress does carry over to the main game. So there is
Right.
that. God, oh, these counters. I just love a good counter in a JRPG. And sometimes good countering doesn't happen until like late game.
Just there you go. Just kill them all.
There we go. All right. Well, Jeff Grubb, thank you for joining me out west. Maybe I'll see you in the distant future and everything.
Channel Choa, make it a double.
Make it a double.
Make it a double.
Oh, that's really good.